Hi, Abby Guerra here, and this is my persuasive speech for Speech 1311. There are many reasons why students should not use their cell phones during school. Even though we live in a progressive era, students need to learn how to be able to live without their devices. Cell phone use in school should be very limited, if not permitted at all. According to Influence Central 2016 Digital Trends Study, the average age for having a smartphone now is 10 years old. Moreover, not only do kids get cell phones at an incredibly young age, but they are exposed to other forms of technology early on. That is coming from a source. Banning cell phone use at school will only result in good. Now, I am directly speaking to students, parents and guardians, school administrators, and superintendents. Just as older generations were taught that there is a time and place for everything, I say the cell phone use in school would be the same thing. It applies the same. There are also too many reasons why devices should not be permitted in school. One reason alone is that not all students can afford to have one. Now, I am not saying that parents shouldn't give their children these extravagant tokens, but I am, however, trying to persuade you that cell phone use during the class can lead to far more harm than aiding in the education of your children whom you entrust on a daily basis. Students go to school to get an education, just as much as teachers are not babysitters. They can learn without them as they are tucked away in their backpacks. Now, a few problems that I'd like to point out. I believe that it is led to believe that exposing children to the cyber world will make them smarter and have the ease of easy access of information. However, studies have shown that the ease of obtaining information not only hinders one's thought process, it also opens up a variety of distractions. Also, cell phones are being misused during the instructional time. Now, instead of passing notes, the ease of a device is much quicker and stealth. Now, keeping FERPA in mind, which is the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, videos and photos is not just a violation of their privacy, but uploading it to social media can lead to a much higher potential danger. Also, not only do some students have to worry about being judged by if they have a phone or have the latest model, some students endure bullying to a more higher and permanent form of humiliation, which is cyberbullying. This comes from sources. Banning cell phones use at school will only result in good, as well as mobile phones must stay out of the classroom. Now, just because I am pointing out some of the issues that teachers and students face, there are some advantages. Like, for example, schools could budget to provide certain grade level iPads or tablets. They can also, if cell phones are permitted in school, then there is no harm if students store their phones inside their backpacks or lockers until after school hours. And if parents are persistent on the idea that cell phones should be allowed in the classroom to aid their children academically, then parents should volunteer their time and join in on their child's activity. And this would also help the teacher on having an extra pair of eyes on the classroom. Finally, let's see how the solutions could help. By issuing the students iPads and tablets, this will make students, parents, and guardians fully responsible in taking care of these devices as well as using them for academic purposes. If cell phones are tucked away, students need to learn that there's a time and place to use their devices, especially if it's not being used appropriately or academically. Now, if parents volunteer their time, then not only will they show interest in their children's academics, but it will also open up their perspective on a teacher's point of view. Now, let's talk about a call of action. I think school boards can hold meetings about the issues on classroom incorporation of cell phones to enhance the students' learning. Schools can also hold meetings, or I'm sorry, they can hold trial runs with certain grade levels to see how the inclusion of mobile devices will affect the classroom setting. Also, parents should, they must show interest or they must volunteer to show their support if they want to have cell phones included in the classroom. Also, if iPads and tablets are provided by the school, then the students, parents, and guardians must be held fully responsible for the inappropriate use, lost, or damaged item. Now, as I come to a close, I chose this topic because I work in education and see how students misuse their cell phones in the classroom almost on a daily basis. It doesn't mean that teachers are not vigilant. We have to be considerate that not only do the teachers have to constantly monitor their class and ensure that students are engaged. So to add a potential distraction is adding stress to a classroom environment. A niece of mine once told me that a group of ill-mannered students threatened a teacher and gang up on a teacher. Also said that they were sexually harassed, all because they wanted to watch a movie during instructional time. Educators work far too hard, more than 40 hours a week, to be stripped of their certification. We cannot allow students to threaten educators with false allegations, all because students as well as parents think that having mobile devices in the classroom is not a big deal or just another petty school rule. We must incorporate mobile devices in the school as other districts do, or not include them at all, not have them permitted. With this said, thank you for listening, and remember that education is key to success, and we must all hold responsibility as educators, students, parents, and guardians to ensure that this sensitive matter not be overlooked any longer and receive full support from us all. Thank you.